It's no fun when our kids are sick, but we may just have found the silver lining. Apple and raspberry and orange flavoured electrolyte slushies made by Rehydrate.
Rehydrate slushies are a tasty way to get essential electrolytes into our little ones when they're dehydrated from sickness or even just the Aussie heat. They're delicious and they'll help your little ones feel better in no time. Grab Rehydrate from Coles today.
It's a Happy Families podcast with Dr. Justin Coulson. We're Luke and Susie, parents of 3 little boys, and this is the podcast for those of us who are time-poor parents who just want answers now.
How to help kids be hopeful when they feel hopeless.
Oh.
We have one child in particular
Yeah.
who drops to a state of feeling hopeless very quickly
Yeah.
on things.
And the interesting thing is, Suze, on this topic, forget the children. Let's just navigate life in this space because one of the most recent things my therapist said to me was an acknowledgement that I live a life where hopelessness is not an option, and so therefore if something seems hopeless, I shut it down, I shut it out, and I move on. So maybe I've got some brokenness to try and deal with in the midst of this conversation.
Dr. Justin Coulson from happyfamilies.com.au. We are really going to be interested in your response on this. How do you help kids be hopeful when they feel hopeless?
It's really hard, isn't it? Because as parents, we sort of say, I think, a lot of the wrong things. You know, when the kids are down, we say, oh, come on, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever said that to you when you're feeling lousy?
Yeah.
Oh, cheer up, it's not that bad. And don't you just want to punch them in the mouth?
Yeah, which is hard enough that it will be that bad.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what I'm going through. It actually is that bad. If it wasn't that bad, I wouldn't be feeling this bad. Or people say, come on, snap out of it. Come on, what's good in your life? Tell me something you're grateful for. And when you're feeling that low, when you're feeling hopeless, it's hard to find anything to be grateful for. Gratitude's a wonderful way to improve well-being, but I tell you what, it can be really hard to feel grateful when you feel hopeless.
Yeah, you know what I find strange is in the midst of that, one of the go-tos that tends to encourage a lot of people, not me, but it tends to encourage a lot of people, and I don't understand it, is going, well, there's always somebody worse off.
We call that downward social comparison.
Okay, because I look at that and I go, how does that make me feel better?
Yeah.
To go, okay, it could get worse.
Yeah, the world can be a really horrible place. Yeah.
But we somehow get some ability to calm ourselves because, we're not the worst off, so...
Yeah, so all of these things are what we would loosely call dismissing a person's emotions. Somebody's feeling hopeless and we're trying to, I guess, distract them from that hopelessness.
And we kind of want that, don't we? Because in a sense, if we get to shut it out quickly, it's the quickest way to deal with the feeling, is to pretend it doesn't exist.
It's a quick fix.
Yeah.
That's right. But like any Band-Aid fix, it can be ripped off very quickly, and quite often it rips away the scab that was trying to heal underneath. Look, there's this wonderful idea that was developed around about 20 years ago by some researchers in the US, Shane Lopez and Charles Snyder, and it's called hope theory. And this, I think, is a wonderful antidote to the problem of feeling hopeless. It's how we build hope in our kids. And we need to have 3 things. All 3 have got to be present. If one's missing, there's no hope. And if we're not hopeful, we're hopeless. Hope. It doesn't sound very nice, does it? The 3 things. Got to have a goal, got to have a pathway, and got to have the belief that you can walk along that pathway to the goal. Now, I want to be clear before I speak to these 3 points. Some people feel so hopeless that these 3 points won't be enough and they need to go and see somebody and get professional help.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing to highlight is that if we're trying to give our kids hope because they feel hopelessness, doing it when they're feeling absolutely awful is not usually the best time to do it. Research would suggest that when they're feeling like they are happy to chat and the emotions aren't so great, it might be the best time.
Buy them an ice cream first.
Go and get an ice cream, go for a walk, spend some time in nature, get up for something nice to do in the mornings. This is the best time to have these conversations. And we need these 3 things: goals, pathways, and what psychologists call agency. So it might go like this. So, what do you really want? Nothing. Yeah, I know. It's hard, isn't it? But if there was one thing that you did want, if there was one thing you were working toward, one thing that you're looking forward to, one thing that you think will be good that's coming up in the future, what would it be? See, if we've got a goal, if we've got something to look forward to, then we've got a reason to keep going.
Yeah.
Got a reason to get out of bed, got a reason to go to school, got a reason to go to work. We just need to have a goal. And quite often, when you talk to people who are hopeless, they don't have any goals. They're just dragging themselves through day after day after day with nothing that they're working towards. Once we've got a goal established, and it can be the smallest little goal, it doesn't matter. It's just got to be a goal. Then we say, okay, well, how are you going to get there? That's the pathways thinking.
Yeah.
People who are hopeful identify more pathways to their goal than people who are hopeless.
Right.
But we just need one pathway. That's all we need. Because if we've got a pathway, we can get there.
Yeah.
But that's still not enough. I remember a girl that I was working with one time and their family, she was hopeless. She was 15 years old. She hated school. She hated life. She didn't want to be anywhere. And as we talked about what she hoped for, she said, I just want to work either in childcare or hairdressing. I want to get out of school. I hate school. I hate my life. We discussed that these were two exciting goals. And then we looked at the pathways to those goals. She threw her hands up in the air and she said, I'll never do either of them. It's too hard. I said, well, there are pathways. We discussed the childcare pathway. That required more schooling. She had to get another qualification. She said, it's too hard. I don't want to do it. We discussed hairdressing and recognised that there were some people in her circle who could give her a leg up so that she could have maybe a traineeship as a hairdresser. She came alive. She felt so good because she could now see a pathway to that goal.
Yeah.
But she needed one more thing. She needed that agency, that belief that she had the power to walk along that pathway. We got the traineeship. On day 2 or day 3, she used the scissors to open up a poster. You know how magazines often have a poster in the middle? She used the scissors to lever the staple, and the staple damaged the scissors. Now, hairdressers' scissors, I didn't know this.
They're very expensive.
But by golly, they're expensive. And the hairdresser wasn't very polite in the way she chastised this girl. And the girl just threw her arms up in the air and said, I can't do this. She ran away. She never went back. Because she didn't have the belief that she could actually walk along the pathway. That chewing out that she got from the hairdresser was enough. It was too much for her. But it shows the importance of having all three. What do you want? How are you going to get there? Do you believe you can? Now, if we can have a conversation with our kids where we just ask those 3 questions. What do you want? How are you going to get there? Do you believe that you can? And maybe a 4th one, how can I support you?
Yeah.
We build hope. And all of a sudden, the world is not so scary and life is worth living.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we found this for the smallest of things, because our boys might not overall feel hopeless, but on a little thing like, Suze, you did this very thing when he had a project that fell apart the day before it was due, and he was devastated. And you walked through this. Okay, what is it that we need to achieve? You know, like how do we do this? And then once a solution was found, complete calm and excitement, and they went and did it, and everything was great.
3 things: a goal, a pathway, and a belief that you can do it.
Yep. And which included part 4 too, with how can I help? How can I help? And, and it was in the midst of that gave him the confidence that he could go get it done and
boost
voila.
resilience. And you know what? The research again shows that when we do this stuff with our kids, they become more resilient. Their well-being is higher. They discover that, well, I fixed that before, so now I know how to fix this in the future.
Yeah.
Well done, Suze, by the way.
Oh,
well
thanks.
done. And wonderful feedback on the project too. It all worked.
I hope you got an A, Susan.
Dr. Justin Coulson, thank you so much for your time. It's always enlightening.
Yeah, great to chat. Thanks, guys.
If you enjoy the podcast, please take a moment to rate it on iTunes. When you do that, it increases the visibility of the podcast and helps more people to find it. And if you're not a subscriber, jump onto Apple Podcasts and subscribe so that you can hear every episode as soon as it is uploaded. For more information on all of Dr. Justin Coulson's books, programs and podcasts, go to happyfamilies.com.au, or if you'd like to have Dr. Justin Coulson speak at your school or event, go to justincoulson.com.